Welcome back, YouTube. Thanks for coming. Here's another video teaching you how to do some radiator hoses and a thermostat on this Cobalt. Here are the part numbers for the two hoses and the thermostat. First thing we need to do, remove the oil filler cap so we can pop off this big beauty cover. Next thing that's in our way is this forward airbox cover thing, whatever you want to call this. So you're going to loosen this clamp and take these hose clamps off. Now you're going to loosen that clamp right there to the left that holds it to the throttle body. They have this little tab plugged into this hole that holds that box on. You pop the top like that, and then it'll come right out. Remove the clamp on the left side of the engine from the top of that hose on the left. Remove the clamp from the right side of the engine at the top of that hose. Now you can go ahead and remove both hoses from the engine. I'm going to undo these clips all the way around so I have a better access to the radiator mounts. That way I can move the radiator forward and backwards in order to make it easier to grab those clamps. It's probably not necessary, but in this scenario, the way the clamps are clocked on the hose, it's going to make it a lot easier if I can tilt the radiator forward towards the engine. Once you have all the clips out, you can lift this, get to that 10mm bolt that holds this radiator support mount bracket. So that was a pain because the two clips were facing the headlight, so that was pretty hard, but once you got it off, go ahead and pull this hose all the way off now. Alright, these hoses pretty much exact length, so I'm going to grab some good clamps from up here and not going to reuse these crappy ones because it's just impossible to work with after the fact. And now I'm going to slide this back onto the radiator. To get the radiator to sit in the correct position without distorting the hose, I had to cut an inch off from the engine side. Alright, so I got that tightened on with my clamp tool. To get the driver's side clamp off, I had to remove this driver's side radiator mount. It just is the mount is held in with three 13mm. These two hoses seem to match up pretty well, but I'm still going to cut the inch off of the side that goes to the engine. Use your hose clamp tool to get that hose on now, and then replace the mount on the bottom. Clean and replace the radiator mount supports on the top. Replace the 4 clips on the radiator cover. Last part of the hose install is the top driver's side. Make sure that's all tight. Then you can replace the first airbox part. I had to replace this hose here because it was leaking, all dry rotted and nasty. So make sure you tighten this clamp, reinstall that hose, and tighten that clamp that's underneath for the throttle body. Now I'm going to pour in some Dex Cool and then top it off with water. There's going to be air in the system, so what we need to do is fill it, let some of the air come out, maybe bounce the car a little bit, and then top it off again, and then we need to let it run till the needle starts moving, then top it off and let it sit, and then you're going to want to do that about twice. Let it cool all the way off, then let it warm up, let it bleed out some air, do that a few times, and all the air should be out of the system. Now that you know there's no more leaks or air bubbles in the system, you can replace that top plastic cover, and you're all done. So thanks for watching, and until next time, wrench on.